The Fallout series has become a beloved franchise over the last 25 years. Aside from the gameplay, the biggest draw of these games is often their fascinating and rich landscapes filled with interesting characters. The game's identity is also based on creating a visage of post-apocalyptic 50s Americana set in the not-so-distant future. The timeline of this franchise and how the world evolves in these games is often the topic of many discussions. I'm Will from Game Rant, and today we're talking about the chronological timeline of the Fallout games. The first entry in the Fallout timeline, Fallout 76, is set in the year 2102, 60 years earlier than the next game in the timeline. The game itself had a bit of a rough launch, but also had a unique approach to gameplay with its multiplayer focus. Only 25 years removed from the Great War, the inciting incident which turned the world into the wasteland we know and love, Fallout 76 is a sort of spiritual prequel to the entire Fallout franchise. Next in the timeline is the very first game in the entire franchise, the original Fallout. The game takes place in the year 2161, 84 years after the Great War. As such, the wasteland is a lot more populated with established groups. It also showcases life in a vault, which the protagonist has lived their entire life in before going out to explore the wasteland. Fallout's sequel would jump forward 80 years and give players more of an idea of how society was advancing, both inside and out of the vaults. Fallout 2 would also feature the formation of a major force within the Fallout series, the New California Republic, or NCR. The NCR was an attempt to reform the ideas of democracy and society within the wasteland, and shows that humanity is starting to reorganize after the bombs dropped. As one might expect, Fallout 3 comes after Fallout 2. Fallout 3 takes place exactly 200 years after the Great War in 2277. Seeing how it isn't too far removed from the last game in terms of time period, the world hasn't changed drastically. However, it does take players through a new setting. The capital wasteland is Fallout's first foray into the east coast of America, specifically Washington, D.C. and parts of Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Fallout 3 also gives players a bigger taste of the consequences of the Great War, as the former beacon of democracy has devolved into absolute chaos and ruin. Shortly after Fallout 3 comes the immensely popular New Vegas. New Vegas takes place merely 4 years after the events of Fallout 3, but takes the series back to the West Coast. Revisiting the West means that players can be updated on the ongoing power struggle between the NCR, Mr. House's New Vegas, and Caesar's Legion. The player is thrust into the conflict of all three fighting for control of the area and must decide the fate of the Mojave. Finally, the most recent entry in the timeline takes us back to the East Coast in Fallout 4. This time, the player explores the Commonwealth, which consists of the area around what was formerly Boston, Massachusetts. With 210 years separating this setting with the Great War, society has almost entirely developed around post-apocalyptic life. The game also introduces synths, humanoid robots that can be indistinguishable from humans and carry a large amount of controversy with their existence. This far into the timeline, players can really see how society and technology is advancing in the post-war wasteland. That was the chronological timeline of the Fallout games. For more games and articles like this, remember to drop by GameRant.com. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.